It ain't me. It was never gonna be me. What are you even doing if you're using a suitcase that doesn't have 4 wheels? Yorkshire pudding. Onto some lighter news because that's so depressing. Was there anything surprisingly easy for you after the breakup? There's like pros and cons to every decision we make in life of that house with that man. Have you thought about doing van life again? We have made it to the end of 2025. Barely. We're scraping by, but the new year is around the corner. I've been talking about this end of the year recap for weeks now, months probably. I thought that the vibe would be a little bit less depressing, but you know, life is where it's at, but we're still going to go forward with our end of the year recap. And you guys gave me so many questions to answer, and I really loved being able to sit down and just answer those questions, and just hear, you know, the kind of things that are going through your guys' minds. So thank you so much for submitting all of those. But I also did want to take a minute to give you guys a shout out, because you guys, the impact that you have had on me this year, I still don't know how to put it into words. It has been the most unexpected source of support and love in one of the hardest years of my life. And I think that that is an understatement. And I am just so deeply grateful. Like every time I say thank you for just being here, for the support, like it just never feels like enough. It never feels like those words actually describe just how grateful I feel. You know, every time I do pop on here and see the comments, even if I am not able to reply to all of them, I read them, I see them, and I'm just so grateful for the love and support, and it has just meant the world. So thank you so much for being here. I don't know how long you've been around here, but on my old channel that I did with my ex, if you've been following me for that long, we did like an end of the year recap and a new year video as well. And we kind of just like talked about like what was our favorite trip of the year, what was our biggest obstacle. Like we did all these kind of like superlatives, you know, like in like a yearbook. Like it's like creating little categories based on the channel and like, you know, the vibe. And so I've picked like 5 things. I didn't go too hard. This is the first year I'm doing this on this channel. We need to ease ourselves into the creation. Normally I would have wanted to do this like in-depth thing, like even my editing, I'm going to pull back on my editing. So like everything, I'm just scaling it back, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to continue posting on any capacity. Have a simpler edits, have, you know, shorter videos, which is going to be hard, okay, you guys, because I can talk and talk. So I guess it's going to be a challenge for me to try and like create shorter videos, but it's a creative, fun challenge that I'm going to be taking on. So yeah, let's get into these topics. Favorite day trip of the year. So this was the year that I really dove in to car-free travel, car-free day trips. I took back that sense of independence and travel that I lost my camper van. You know, I lost that whole travel channel, and I wanted to figure out how I could bring a sense of adventure to my own channel in my own way with my specific circumstances of no longer having a car. It's been really cool. And I wasn't sure if people were going to even like seeing those like train travels, because the thing that I would always get in my head about that I'm finding out now is like, it's like the uniqueness of what I'm sharing is that I'm not going to these bucket list destinations. I'm going to everyday suburbs in my state and places that are easily overlooked, places that I've passed a million times and always said, oh, I want to go explore there one day. And I just never have. And it's just always been there. It's kind of things you just take for granted. And it's just allowing me to like visit my own state with like fresh eyes again, and to see different areas on foot, which it's like, I didn't think it would be much different, but it actually is like a whole different experience, you know, going to a location, you know, with a camper van versus on foot. And, you know, there's limitations that I have to work around, but it almost forces me to explore ththese locations in a different way because I'm on foot. So yeah, it's been really fun, and let's get into it. I'll see, I'm yapping. I'm a yapper. This is my emotional support lip oil, so you're welcome. I'm be holding this throughout the video and fiddling with it right now. Okay, so Port Arlington obviously has a special place in my heart. If you don't know this by now, well, now you know. But I really have to say the Olinda day trip to like the Dandenong Ranges National Park, that was probably my favorite trip of the year. It was just perfect, and like I already cannot wait to go back. I want to go back for like a longer trip, an overnight or two. I would love to do that. I fell in love with Olinda or Olinda. I still don't know how to say it. So if you do know how to say it, let me know in the comments. Yeah, just going to the cozy cafe with the fireplace and having scones and like the autumn vibes and like walking around Dandenong Ranges National Park or Botanic Gardens, that's what it's called. In like the peak of autumn it just made my heart so happy. It brought me so much joy. It was way easier to get there without a car than I thought it would be. And it just surprised me. It surprised me and delighted me in ways I did not expect. And now it's like, now I have to find an autumn day trip for 2026 that's going to top that. And I don't know if I can. Hardest thing I've overcome this year. Where do I start? I wouldn't even say I've overcome it, but like that I've battled this year is compound grief. And this is a term that I've only just really been introduced to, but it's like when you're grieving and then another form of grief happens while you're still in the middle of grieving the other thing, and it compounds. Like it's pretty self-explanatory, but just learning a little bit more about that, because like your body, your nervous system hasn't even had a chance to catch up to fully regulate, and you're like thrown something else. Just hearing other people's experiences with compound grief, in a lot of ways I feel like I've been lucky to get this far in life and to only now be experiencing compound grief like this. But it's not something that I would wish on anyone. It is one of the hardest things I've ever gone through and still going through. This is all so fresh. You just can't write this shit, to lose a parent the same year you walk away from like your life partner that you've been building a life with for 6 years. Like those are just massive life-changing things. It's just been such a year of disruption, just so many heavy, big emotions. I know it's definitely not something I've overcome in 2025. I'm very much like only just starting to really navigate this whole era of compound grief and what that's going to look like. And I'm not ready for it, but I'm here, and I've been seeking comfort in those places where people are vulnerable enough to show up in their grief and their heartbreak and their sadness. And, in a big way, like I've been able to do that for other people. And like, it's just, I don't know, it makes me want to share more, on some level, I think it's so important. I think of how much it impacts me to have those spaces to go to when I need them. And if I can just, be a sliver of that for someone else, that just, and, if you asked me this question a month ago, I probably would have had a different answer. It probably would have been something like heartbreak, going through heartbreak, being betrayed by someone you slept next to. Obviously, it's still fucking horrible and still hurts and still all those things, but there was a part of me that felt like I should be over everything that happened with my ex earlier this year. And I'm not. And I've accepted that. I'm not over it. I'm still so friggin' hurt from everything that happened this year. I'm still so angry. I'm still so hurt. And to still be processing that, almost 12 months later, and then to get the news, I have no words. I have no words to describe what that feels like. Onto some lighter news, because that's so depressing, okay? And I'm sorry. Happy holidays, people. You guys have no idea how much like pressure I was putting on myself to drop that news on you guys about my dad, because I was like, it's the holiday season and like everyone's like holly jolly Christmas, and at the time I was dropping all these videos like getting into the Christmas spirit, single for the first time in 6 years, blah 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 blah. And then I had my birthday vlog, and I was like in the middle of editing my birthday vlog when everything happened with my dad. Like it happened like 2 days after I got back from that trip. I need to let them know so they know where I'm at in case like my content just like dips and I go MIA, you know. I just felt like I had been so vulnerable with you guys up until that point, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I didn't need to let you know every detail. I was just like, I just need to let them know like what's going on. But then I was really struggling to finish my birthday vlog, and I didn't want to drop the news about my dad before my birthday vlog. I got so in my head, and like this will just let you know, like I don't know how other creators do it, but I get so in my head sometimes. And like I was so in my head, like I need to drop, like it just felt like it would have been weird if I dropped the news about my dad and then like happy birthday. And so I was supposed to drop the birthday vlog like 5 days before the vlog about my dad, and they ended up dropping on the same day because I was like, I just need to get them out, and they're both done, so I'm just uploading them. I uploaded them with like 5 hours in between, so I apologize if that was like what the fuck. What is going on right now? But like that's what it felt like for me. Okay, so now like you know what it feels like. Okay, yeah, I just was like, just upload it, who cares, it's out there, it's in the internet, they can watch it when they want to watch it. And the other revelation I had, I know you guys, I'm going off on tangents, but what else is new? Like, I'm sorry, in my head I was like, I'm gonna ruin everyone's Christmas by sharing this news. But then I'm like, hang on, Jamie, like just like the breakup, there are people out there that are also having a hard time during the holiday season. And like, I would want to see a video like that right now that I am here in this position, you know what I mean? And so I had to like step back, like there are so many people out there that also are struggling during the holidays, and this video might bring them comfort. And the minute I thought about that, I was like, okay, so there's no right time to upload this. You know, like obviously there might be people that were like that didn't want to see that, like, okay, but they can scroll. But then there's the person that needed to see that, and it's like I needed to think about that. Like that needed to be what I led with. And I think that I just need to remind myself I need to do that with all of my videos. Like there's someone that needs to see this. It's not about the people that don't need to see this or don't want to see this. It's not about them. It's about the people that need to see this video right now, today. The thing that I am most proud of myself for this year, pretty simple. It's just showing up for myself. I am so proud of myself for just showing up for myself, taking care of myself the best that I can, continuing to seek moments of joy and laughter despite all of the heaviness that I've faced this year. I am so proud of myself for that, and it has not been easy, for continuing to choose to try to look after myself, try to seek joy, try to find moments of laughter, even if it is through some really twisted dark humor. I'm trying. That's literally all that we can do, you know, especially in seasons like this. I know that people don't like the microphones, but let me just put my stake in the stand on where I stand with the little microphones, okay? I am always going to have an external microphone because they're not just a trend. I know some people just use them as a trend, but they're not just a trend. They actually serve a purpose. And I know that like with a lapel mic, you're meant to just clip it on and leave it and not have to use your hands. But I find that the quality isn't as good as when I'm actually holding it in front of me. The reason why I choose to use this, and this is like the fact that I even feel like I need to explain this is really stupid because it's just a microphone, is because I often film out in the elements, especially on my day trips or my vlogs around the city. There's so many external noises that I cannot predict, and I don't know if I'm getting the audio picked up that I need to get picked up. And so to guarantee that I'm getting audio picked up, I will use the microphone because it has saved me so many times. If there's extreme wind, you can't hear nothing, okay?
Anyway, it is so windy. I cannot feel my hands, and I had to get the microphone out because it's so windy.
And when I use that microphone, you can hear everything I'm saying. So like there is a function to the tiny microphones, okay? So it's not all for trends. The end, like I'm gonna use a microphone from time to time, especially if I'm in a loud situation or if there's noises like construction or something that comes up. Like this is so dumb. These stupid microphones have like divided the internet. It's so dumb. It's just dumb. Okay? It's a microphone. I'm a creator. I use gear to enhance the quality of my videos. Take it or leave it. It is what it is. If you don't want to watch my videos with the tiny microphone, don't. But I'm just laying it here, and I hope I never feel like I have to talk about those little microphones again, okay? All right, my biggest lesson or revelation. One of my biggest revelations, I would say, this year is just the sneaky ways that self-abandonment can show up. But I had thought I had learned this lesson about self-abandonment in past relationships. I guess I just didn't realize that it can show up in such sneaky ways, and it's not always so black and white. And for me, I was attached to this identity within myself of like being a loyal person. Like Jamie's a ride or die person. Jamie doesn't give up easy. Jamie doesn't quit when things get hard. Like I was so attached to that identity for myself. I abandoned myself in other ways. You know, I ignored red flags because I was trying so hard to make things work. It was like I was choosing loyalty at all costs, even if it was for someone that didn't deserve my loyalty. Like that was my biggest priority, was being a loyal, committed person. That identity, I clung on to it at all costs, you know. And I had to get to a point where I had to ask myself, at what cost are we willing to be loyal? At what cost are we willing to be this committed person, even though it's destroying us, even though we are being walked all over, even though, you know, we are not being respected? At what cost? And I really had to get a little slap in the face of reality, because what the hell were you doing, Jamie? Like, sorry, no, we don't do that anymore. We don't do that anymore. Our loyalty needs to be earned, and it needs to be maintained to be kept. Otherwise, I ended up staying in environments way too long, well longer than I should have, and, you know, just giving out my loyalty regardless of what it's doing to me in return. That's so dumb. That's just so dumb. But I was just so attached to that, and I didn't realize how much I was clinging to that identity. And it almost has been like, I mean, this whole year has just been one like identity loss, like a death of my identity, that I'm trying to figure out, who the hell am I now in this new reality? You know, one of the things I really wanted to focus on this year was my boundaries, and I have definitely done that, and it's been so hard. It's been so freaking hard. Like in relationships, in my work life, I've had to put boundaries up and say goodbye to a lot of things. And it feels good to be able to know that I have done that for myself, but it's not felt good. Okay, it's felt really icky and uncomfortable and like, oh, I don't want to do this. Can somebody else do it? But I have to do it, okay? Like, I have to be the one to do it, okay? I'm a grown-ass woman, all right? It's time to, you know, have stronger boundaries. You know, self-abandonment isn't always black and white, and it can be very sneaky, and it can show up in more disguised ways. And that was a very painful lesson for me to learn for the second time around. It was very painful, very painful. But, you know, third time's the charm. Let's do a quick work update, because I know I've talked about it randomly in different vlogs, but I'm unemployed. I'm going into the new year unemployed by choice, pretty much. I was doing one role within the company, and my contract for that role was ending. And so I was going to just part ways with the company and go look for a job elsewhere. That role was not like my ideal role, and that role within that company was very stressful. It was not organized. It was a big lack of support in the infrastructure, so in resources. There was a lot of things going on that led to me not wanting to continue, even if I had the opportunity to. But they were also making a lot of redundancies and laying people off. So there was a lot going on within the company at the time that my contract was coming to an end. My plan was to enjoy the Christmas break, have a month off, and then apply for jobs in January. You know, my boss encouraged me to apply for some internal roles. And I was like, oh, I wasn't going to do it. But then I ended up doing it. I did an interview. I got one of the roles in one of the other departments. And once I like got the role, I was actually looking forward to trying something new, challenging myself in a new way, and having more structure in a routine, because, you know, the role that I was doing was like rotating roster. So my schedule was changing every single week. And the new role that I had got, was more of like a 9 to 5 kind of structure, no weekends. And I would have had a lot more balance in my life. So I was looking forward to that and just to trying something new. Then they told me that I would have to stay in my old role if I wanted to continue the new role. They said, we'll have to extend your contract a week. I said, listen, you can extend my contract a week. I'm going to take an unpaid week off. So I took the unpaid week off, waited for that contract to end. And then when that came around, they then told me, oh, sorry, we're actually going to start the new role in the new year. So the start date has changed again. I said, that's fine. I'm happy to start in the new year. Like I was hoping to have a month off anyway. And they said, oh, but you will have to continue doing the old role if you want the new role. I was like, I'm not doing that. That's pretty much it. I said I'm not doing that. They didn't like it. They were like, well, it is a requirement in order to take the new role, even though that wasn't in the contract. That they didn't tell me that. A bunch of people told me that I should go and like speak to someone about the whole situation because of how it all went down. I don't even know if I have the energy to do that. I put a boundary up and I said I'm not going to do that. And like so many people were like, why didn't you just suck it up and do it? Like at least you're going to have a paycheck. But like the whole point of me like sacrificing doing the house sitting was so that I would have more choice and flexibility financially to be able to say yes and no to jobs that align with me or don't align. I don't know if they expected me to be so desperate that I would just do whatever they wanted me to do, but I was not going to do that. Everyone else that applied for the role did do that. They just did whatever they said. Jump how high. It ain't me. It was never going to be me. It's just fingers crossed. I find something that's more aligned in the new year and allows me to have a lot more routine. And my living situation's already so up and down and, you know, I'm moving around a lot. So I need like my work life to not be so hectic as well. All right, you guys, let's get into the Q&A, okay? Because you guys had questions. Let's answer these questions. And I was about to promise that I wasn't going to get sidetracked, but what's the point of making that promise when I don't even know if I can keep it? Does the glimpse into different lives and living arrangements you get through your house sitting gigs make you realize what you want or don't want for your own apartment or home? 100,000,000,000%. It has been so good for that. It's given me so much clarity. I've been able to experience so many different ways of living. Like I've been able to explore so many different areas that I probably wouldn't have spent that much time in. And I've been able to spend like weeks at a time, like pretty much living like a local in these different areas. Just little things like in part of my routine, like things that would be really important for me to look for, you know, when I start looking at apartments again. So it feels like a little bonus on top of like saving so much money house sitting and, you know, being able to stay in some really cool places at times. Speaking of house sitting, I'm back at the house sit I was at when I did my last Q&A for the breakup series. I was in this apartment and now we're here again with all the plants. So we're back. It's like a little full circle moment because that was like one of the house sits I was like after the breakup series ended, and now here we are ending the year here. So like sometimes in my vlogs I've shared some of the pets that I've house sat, and you know, if that's someone's first vlog, they don't really know it's not my dog. So I had someone make a comment and I just wanted to, it wasn't really a question for the Q&A. They were just saying like the dog sounds really anxious. She sounds so anxious, maybe try to plug in a diffuser to calm her. If that doesn't work, a visit to the vet. At the end of the day, when I am house sitting and I'm looking after other people's pets, I have to go by their rules. You know, it's not my pet. So I can't just do X, Y, and Z all the time. And like, you know, if the parent's like, oh yeah, she does this, but we just ignore it, then like I kind of just have to do that. So it can be a little hard because I have to stay in line with the pet owner's way of raising the dog, not necessarily how I would raise a dog. I didn't plan it to be like this, but these are more house sitting questions. I'm really interested in the house sitting gig and what the process is like. It's not very common where I'm from. I enjoy your content about your process and daily routines in Australia. You're working really hard for what you want, and it's great to join you and watch. That's so kind. Thank you so much. Yeah, I want to do a video on the house sitting process. I might do like a mini series. I'm not sure. It wouldn't be until later in the new year. I definitely. Oh my lip gloss. I definitely want to do a video just on getting into house sitting, my experience, the resources that I use. But I would just start by looking to see if there's any websites or apps in your area, wherever you're located, and see and kind of go from there and just look into it that way. You definitely have to start somewhere. Obviously, I had a lot of experience from my dog sitting business, but I also had to start that from scratch as well. So you just have to start. But I would love to create a little series or a big video, a big detailed video, just explaining like how I got into it, my experience, and any tips and advice. So keep an eye out on that. And I don't know if anyone else would want to see that, but I definitely think it would be useful. So I might just make it anyway. And thank you for the support and coming along for the ride with me, because I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. Because I asked you guys what you enjoy seeing, like out of my content. What are your favorite parts of my content? What brings you to keep coming back? What are the moments that stick out to you? Like, just to get an understanding of the things. It's helpful for me when I'm editing and I think like, oh, this is boring, let me take this out. Like, I know that they like when I do this, so I'll definitely make sure I keep this in. Or we all laugh about this part. So like hearing that little feedback, yeah, it's good. It's great. The feedback I got has been so great so far, so thank you guys so much. I enjoy your life updates and just seeing you be real with your struggles and then seeing how you overcome them and come out on the other side happier. Whether that was your mental health, moving around, finding a job, it has been really beneficial to see someone grow and overcome life challenges, since people don't usually show on social media. It has made me feel less alone. That's not a question, but thank you so much. Like, I feel the same way about so many of the creators I follow who choose to share the challenges and the struggles of life. It just makes social media feel a little bit more human, to see people being real humans going through real life human things. I don't know. It just is such a cool feeling that I can be that for someone else, because, I love that feeling. I find it so refreshing when I find that in the creators I follow too. So thank you so much. Great video as always. As far as content, wow, you just being you is fun to watch. You're just such a natural storyteller, and it cracks me up when you laugh at yourself. LOL. Oh no. My device is overheating. You guys are so kind in the comments. Like, I've been working so hard this year on like trying to become a better storyteller, and I don't think that I've made much improvement, but I've gotten a few comments this year just about like being a good storyteller or a natural storyteller. I don't know, it's just really nice to hear, so thank you. I am working on it, so hopefully it just gets better and better with time. And I'm always laughing at myself, so I'm glad that my laughter can bring more laughter and kind of share that laughter through the screen. So you're welcome. I subscribed during your breakup series because I found it relatable, and I stayed honestly because I like you. I enjoy simple vlogs the most, because seeing some aspects of someone's life across the globe, I'm in Germany, is interesting and somehow comforting to me. It makes the world feel smaller. I couldn't agree more. I love simple vlogs. I love just being able to like put on a vlog of someone just living their everyday life in a city I've never been to. So I also find comfort in that as well. It's just weird to me that I can be that for someone else, because I've spent so much time on YouTube, like getting that comfort from others. And I think it's really cool that I can give that comfort to someone else. So thank you, and you're welcome. Another house sitting question. I didn't realize how many of these were about house sitting, you guys. House sitting is no joke. It's everything you said it is. I did it for 2 years. It's a job in itself. Congrats, because I think you're doing fab. I came here for your Substack insights as a writer, but have stayed because your storytelling and great vibes. I like your vlogs and seeing what's next. It's fun to be on the journey with you. It's so fun to have you guys on this journey with me, so thank you so much. And I love that some of the Substack crew have decided to stick around for my other content. That was like one of my biggest concerns when I started the Substack series, was that it wasn't going to blend with my other content, and it felt very like separate. So I just love hearing that, people that have come for Substack have stayed for the other stuff. So yeah, that's always really cool. And just like I always feel so intimidated when someone's like, as a writer, I follow your Substack. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not a real writer, guys. Stop. I've only been doing house sitting for 6 months, so I don't even know how anyone can do 2 years, even though I'm thinking about trying to do it for another 6 to 12 months. So I might be saying I've done house sitting for 2 years before we know it, which sounds crazy. So thank you for that question, and I hope that you are doing amazing things on your own Substack journey. I am new to your channel. Thank you for voicing your mission statement of Chase the Calling. Thank you so much for being here, and to all the new people that have joined my corner of the internet. If you don't know, I'm always talking about chase the callings on your heart. I believe that we all have callings that are on our heart, and my calling might be different to your calling, but we all have these callings, these big desires on our heart, and I don't believe that they were given to us by mistake. I believe that they are there for a reason. They were given to you for a reason. They're not there for anyone else to understand, because they were given to you, and you owe it to yourself to chase that calling. And no one is going to be more regretful in life if you don't chase that calling than you will be, because this calling has been given to you. And I always just say, it's such a privilege. It's such a privilege to have this specific calling on your heart. It was given to you. I always say, not everyone wakes up and wants to start a Substack. Not everyone wakes up and wants to put their life on YouTube. It's just this calling was given to you. And what an honor, what a blessing, whether that is I have the calling on my heart to become a teacher or a vet or to become a pilot or whatever. It doesn't have to just be career things. There's a calling on your heart, and you owe it to yourself to, fight for that. And yeah, chase the calling. I'm getting merch done, guys. I'm getting a t-shirt or a sweater or a hat or something. We're getting Chase the Calling merch in 2026 at some point. I know my answer won't help much, but I just love you because you are relatable. Someone struggling through their day-to-day life and looking forward to making something good and beautiful out of it. Not only another pretty, perfect face selling an impossible life on the internet. I genuinely feel the same about the people I follow. I've already said this, just that relatability of just someone just being a real human. I always do wonder, I'm what if my life's not sad and I'm having a great season or whatever? Is that gonna deter people away? But it's I love seeing people win. But more importantly, I love seeing people be real. Whether that's a winning season or a losing season, I just love the authenticity, the realness. So that's what I strive to do in the ups and in the downs. I spent a month in Melbourne and enjoyed it so much. I would love to see more of the city and surrounding areas. It reminds me of my amazing vacation. I love this so much. And I definitely had plans to do a lot more city content this year because I spent a lot of time in the city towards the second half of the year. And yeah, more city content will eventually come. I wanted to start a little series solo in the city, and I want to share if you do come to Melbourne for a day or a weekend or this and that, my ideal itinerary of things I would do if I was showing my friend around Melbourne for the first time. So I really have been wanting to create that video for a while. So it's going to come eventually. Just stay tuned. I always have so many ideas going, and I can't bring all my ideas to life at once, and that's the hard part that I have to accept. I loved this comment because it just got my creative juices flowing. I've always wondered if you could make digital stickers for solo travel. Not that it has a high margin, but you can always make cute animal stickers as well. You could make a digital travel journal, since there's not many of those out there, and a better margin, or grounding stuff with your message to honor your calling and supportive items in transition time. If you can do a full vlog that week, using repeatable footage, and happy early birthday. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all those ideas. They definitely align with things I've already been thinking of. I used to have a Zazzle store where I sold some of my artwork and prints and mugs and stuff like that. And I want to revamp that and bring it back to life. So that's definitely something I want to do. I honestly have already created a travel journal for solo travelers that I I made it because I want to use it for myself on my day trips. But yeah, I want to get like a little store going. So yeah, any ideas like that, like I would love to know like what would pique your guys' interest as well, or something you might have already done, or something that's worked for you, something like that. Anything like that, I'm always open to ideas of, my mind's always working, like when it comes to like the creative avenues I can take my Life by Jamie brand. But I love the idea of digital stickers. I just don't even know, like, I don't even know where to start with that. Like, how do you make a sticker? How do you make a digital online sticker? I don't know. I need to Google this. I love all your content, Jamie. I think you have an amazing way of keeping life real while also inspiring people. Wishing you a happy early birthday, fellow fire sign. Can't wait to the end of the year chit chat. It's here. And I know Christmas is hard for you in Australia. So my question will be, how are you dealing with Christmas this year? Are you okay? And also so proud of you for showing up and sharing your life with us. Thank you so much. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I've had my fair share of hard Christmases here over the years. This one takes the cake by far, but I've definitely, when you move abroad, it's just something that comes with the territory most of the time, depending on your situation and your circumstances. But it is a very common thing that the holiday seasons, it just, especially if you're going from like one hemisphere to the other, the seasons are completely different, so it just feels off a lot of the time. So I've definitely had my hard Christmases and holiday seasons. I've had some good ones as well, probably more bad than good, unfortunately. Hopefully we can turn that around going forward. It does come with the territory of moving to the other side of the world, unfortunately. It's one of the cons that, the holiday season can be really rough. It's something that I've accepted that is going to be one of the challenges of making this decision to live here. But there's like pros and cons to every decision we make in life, and this is just one of them for this decision. Am I okay? I probably am not okay, given the circumstances. I just lost a parent, and it's the week of Christmas, and it's hard. And, some days I just feel really numb, and I just need to give myself time and space to grieve, not reply to comments or answer any messages. And sometimes I'm okay to have a laugh, to watch a Christmas movie, and it like comes in waves. And this grief journey has taken me by surprise in so many ways. And I'm going to do a video on this, like just talking about the way that grief has surprised me when it has come to losing a parent. And it's been harder in a lot of ways than I expected, but I'm not necessarily okay, but I know I'm going to be. So I appreciate you asking. I know when you asked this, like I wasn't where I am at now, circumstance-wise, but it still means a lot. Thank you for asking that. Any of you guys, if you're going through a hard season, I'm rooting for you. You're not alone, and just give yourself grace and take it one day at a time. My battery died. I usually have all my batteries charged. This is not like me at all. So I had to take a little bit of a break, and the sun is setting, but it looks incredible. The views from this apartment are so amazing. Let's get back into it. So the next comment is a long one, and I love that. I'm a yapper, so I love yapper comments, okay? Just so you know. Girl, I have a lot to say. I wish we could send voice notes. I know. I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out the best way to go about the voice note things. I don't want to flood my DMs on like Instagram. I know not everyone has Instagram, but I think some creators do it just through email. So I might like open up an email address that's just for like Q&A voice notes or something like that. Let me know what you guys think about that. I think it would be really cool because like one of the podcasts I follow, they actually do this, and it's just so cool to hear everyone's accents and stuff. And I don't know, it's just like more personal. So I think I'm going to open that up for future Q&As, like voice notes, because it's just like, I don't know, it's fun. You should definitely normalize asking people for their number. This is referring to, I took myself out to brunch, and this girl was taking herself out to brunch, and we were like seated next to each other, and we pretty much talked the whole time until our meals came. And she was just new to Melbourne and visiting, and it was one of those encounters where you're just like, oh, I should have asked for her number, but is that weird? And I'm not sure. And like, was she feeling what I was feeling, kind of thing. It's like the vibes, but I definitely am going to think about this comment the next time that happens to me, and I'm just gonna go for it. I don't know. It's so Content I personally would love to see: all the day trips, day in the life, finding your personal style, how to create milestones in life, being child free, how to identify and prioritize goals realistically in health and fitness journey. Girl, we're on the same page, because as soon as I read that, that was like everything that is already on my mind to create, or was before, and more curveballs came my way. But yeah, and especially like finding my own personal style. I think that would be such a fun little like series to do, because I don't see it out there, and I don't see it from this perspective of someone that I wouldn't identify as like, I'm not a fashion girly, like I'm not like, I just want to find my personal style. But like, jean shopping, like, it makes me feel sick to think about like having to go jean shopping and stuff like that. Like, from someone from that perspective, who's not like, I'm a fashionista and like loves shopping and all this kind of stuff. Someone that's just like, I like having like a rotation of outfits that I love, but like I have a closet full of things that like probably aren't best for my body type, or this and that. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it would be a cool little journey to document, like finding my personal style and like developing my capsule wardrobe, or like my 2 to 3 capsule wardrobes. I think that would be really fun to document. I just don't know how I would package that. And then like just all of that stuff, like creating milestones in life as someone who has chosen to be child free. I love that, because I've been seeing so much content just about like the tax of being a child free person, or a single child free person. And how you go through life and you show up for everyone else in their milestones, because like we live in a society that celebrates being coupled, and like the traditional path of like getting married, having kids, and baby showers, bridal showers, bachelorette parties, or hens parties, like all those things are celebrated. You show up, you bring the gifts. But like when you are single, or when you are choosing not to like get married and have kids, like when are people showing up for you in your life? And it's like, let's celebrate the milestones in our single friend's life, and our milestone in our friends that are not choosing to have kids. Like, what do those milestones look like, and that whole conversation. So I would love to explore this a lot more. So I appreciate these. All of these are amazing. So thank you so much. I know you love Australia, but looking in, I'm curious to why you would not want to leave. I was having this conversation with another American girl that I was working with during my contract, and she didn't really love it here. She wasn't having the best experience here, and she's like, no, it's just not it for me. Like, and she was like, how have you stayed this long? And I think at the end of the day, like the simplest way to put it is, I'm comfortable here. Like, this feels more like home than Boston does to me. Like every time I go home, Boston has changed so much, and I've just been here longer. I spent like my entire adult life has been in Australia, and so this just feels comfortable and like home to me. There are perks to living back in Boston, and there are perks to living here. I just like the life that I'm creating for myself. I feel like a lot of the things that I've been able to do, and like places I've been able to live, I would not even be able to like think about affording in the US, especially now. Like the inflation, like things have definitely got more expensive here in Australia, but the last time I've gone home, like the prices are like more than they are here. Like just simple like buying deodorant was like $9 US, which is like what, like $18 Australian, like for deodorant, like, and or if not more. Like the prices were like, they weren't much different to what I would be paying here, if not more. And even like going out to eat, all that kind of stuff. That aside, just the way that I'm able to get around without a car here, I would not be able to do if I moved back to like my hometown, which if I moved back to the US, I would probably base myself in Massachusetts just to get back on my feet and have stability and support. And then if I decided to move to another city. So it's not that I haven't explored the thought of it. It's just like, even when I have looked in comparison, when like January, when I was going through my breakup, I thought, what would it look like for me to move back to the States, and what would it look like for me to like get my own place in the States versus get my own place here. And the prices for just a studio apartment like near my hometown, which is like 40 minutes out of the city, like no, it was like crazy. It was like $2,500, which like I could get a studio apartment here for under $2,000, like 1,500. Like I don't even know. They do everything weekly here. Like in the States, like rent and stuff's like monthly, but here it's weekly. So rent is paid like $350 a week or whatever. Anyway, all that to say, I just like the accessibility I have to like living close to the beach and the city and being able to get around the way that I do. Like even the public transportation, like the train to go into Boston, like a round trip is like $20. Here it cost me like what, $8 round trip, and like that's like the max for the day. They have like a max rate for the day that if you exceed that you don't pay anything more. So there's just little things like that, like, but at the end of the day, it really does come down to the fact that I am just more comfortable here right now. I don't know if Melbourne would be my forever home. I genuinely don't know. But for right now, this is where I can see myself. Like there's the healthcare aspect as well, which there are pros and cons. There are pros and cons to US healthcare, and there are pros and cons to Australian healthcare. Everyone thinks like, oh, universal healthcare is just like blanket better, but there are definitely things that I've experienced better in the US. Believe it or not, I know no one wants to hear that. I know no one wants to believe it, but I'm not the only one. I've talked to other Americans who have said that they've had some experiences where the healthcare is actually better in the US. Do with that information what you will. Okay, it's just my experience and some other experiences, some other people that have lived here. Okay, all right, so on to the next conversation. I know moving around and having to store your stuff is such a pain. Again, none of this is by choice, but are you enjoying more of a minimalist life? Like, so I feel like it is a choice, but it isn't a choice at the same time. Like, I didn't choose the things that had happened to me, and I could have got a job and moved in with roommates. I chose not to do that because I didn't want to. I saw the opportunity to jump into house sitting and save a bunch of money and then give myself more flexibility and choice to kind of like figure out exactly what I want to do instead of just throwing myself into something and being like, okay, well now I need to pay rent. So now I need to, like, I didn't want to need to have to like do something, you know. I wanted to be intentional with the things that I'm choosing. And because of my circumstances, the house sitting was more appealing to me because it felt like it was going to give me, it was going to help me fast track my savings, all that kind of stuff. So all that to say is, it wasn't a choice, but it also was a choice. When it comes to the minimalist stuff, like I don't even feel like I've really done a good job at being a minimalist. I feel like I'm still, like, it's been 6 months of house sitting and I'm still fine tuning my setup. I just bought a new suitcase. I don't know if I've showed you guys. I just got a new suitcase. So my friend let me use her suitcase after mine broke. And first of all, tell me why I've gone all these years, all the way to 2025, without using a suitcase with 4 wheels on it. That's a game changer. Like, she let me borrow that and I was like, oh, okay, what have I, like, I've been missing out. Okay, what are you even doing if you're using a suitcase that doesn't have 4 wheels? That's what I want to know, because I don't know what I was doing. And the sun is going down, you guys, so it's getting very dark. And a suitcase with 4 wheels and a compartment that zips on the inside has changed my life. But I'm still fine-tuning things. It's a work in progress. You know, I've learned a lot about like what I need, what I don't need, what I wear regularly, and things that like I don't really wear and I probably could put into storage. Like, I'm learning a lot, but it's just taking a long time for me to actually fine-tune my minimalist setup. My toiletry bag just broke, so I ordered a new one. I'm like trialing and erroring a bunch of things, which is like good, because it's like eventually I'm going to get to the point where it's like, no, this is the toiletry bag for me, and this is durable, and this has compartments for everything I need. So I'm like gathering all that information by trial and error, which is like messy and it's been frustrating at times and like stressful, but like I'm slowly starting to feel like, you know, each month, each house sit, I'm like feeling like my setup's getting better and better. So we'll get there. Maybe once I get to like the 1 year mark, I'll feel like I have hacked it. But I do, all that being said, I do like living a minimalist lifestyle as well, because I've experienced it during van life when I was doing van life part-time. Like I had a little tub in my little shelf unit, and that was all I could pack. Like all my clothes had to fit in that little bin. And, you know, I would just like rotate the outfits. And I did enjoy that because it just took away so much like decision fatigue, because it's just like, well, you don't have a full wardrobe. Like you just rotate and base it off the weather, and like there you go. Like, okay, it's cold today, I only have like 2 long sleeve shirts, so which one am I gonna wear today? Like which one's dirty, and like when am I going to the laundromat next? Like it just like took away a lot of the clutter because you don't have many options. So it's a nice feeling. It's refreshing. So that's another reason why I do like backpacking, because it's like you're forced into just like removing all these decisions, and that is a freeing feeling. So definitely enjoy that. I just don't think I've fully gotten that down with house sitting yet. Also very proud of your consistency. This means so much. Thank you so much. I've tried so hard to stay consistent this year, the hardest year of my life, and I've stayed so consistent, like insane. It actually blows me away, and I'm really, really proud of myself for that. So thank you. Thank you for seeing me as a creative, and, you know, just thank you. Thank you for seeing me. It really means so much. And, you know, I don't think that 2026 is going to look as consistent as that, but I am also such a firm believer that you get to define what consistency looks like for you. So, you know, I might just be redefining what consistency looks like for me in 2026, and that might be just like 1 upload a month, or like every other week, or something like that. So I can still find my own version of consistency, and that's what I'm going to do. But I will be prioritizing my YouTube channel as much as I can in 2026, because right now this is my only source of income, and this is one of the things I want to be one of my main income. So yeah, I always appreciate it. Anytime you guys see one of my videos that pop up that vibes with you, just giving it a watch. I just thank you in advance for all the support that you already have given and that you will give in the new year. I am so grateful. Have you thought about doing van life again? If so, how do you feel about potentially doing it solo? Doing van life solo terrifies me. It keeps me up at night, okay? But it is something I want to do. I miss van life so much. It is something that I've grieved this year. It's an ache in my heart. It got taken away from me. I didn't realize how much it impacted me until it got taken away from me. I would love to have a camper van in the US and a camper van in Australia. Like, I always wanted that. It actually terrifies me to the point where I don't know if I could do it, but I would love to try. I didn't realize how many questions you guys pulled through. Oh, there was another part of that question. Do you have inspirations to become a digital nomad? If so, would you like to establish a home base and where? I don't know if Melbourne is my end game. As I said before, I would love to be some sort of digital nomad where I'm not tied to one location and I can earn an income no matter where I am. I would absolutely love that. That's what I'm working towards, is, you know, growing my online income in various different ways. YouTube is just one piece of that, you know, and it's kind of the foundation of that. But yeah, I would absolutely love to do that. And there's still so much I want to explore. I feel like I haven't really had that pull for another home base yet. So I feel like I need to explore more. I need to see more places. I need to see where my heart gets pulled to, you know, base myself. But I would love to have a home base and do more traveling. But I would also love to do like full-time van life for an extended period of time. I would love to do like train travel in different countries. There's so much that I want to do. Like, there is so much, and I'm like, there is not enough time in one lifetime for me to do all the things I want to do, and that's part of the thing that like motivates me to keep going, to show up consistently, to, you know, keep putting my best foot forward, you know, the best that I can when it comes to like my creative dreams, because I just have this pull in my heart to do all these things, and they excite the hell out of me. But it's just like so overwhelming. Think about, how am I going to make this happen? But all I can do is continue showing up in the best way I know how, and continue growing and learning and doing the thing. And so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now. Was there anything surprisingly easy for you after the breakup? What are some of your goals for 2026, and how often do you visit Boston? That's where you're from. What are the things you look forward to most when you do? These are some great questions. The thing that was surprisingly easy for me after my breakup was going no contact. And I wasn't sure how I was going to go with going no contact. Was stuck living with my ex for 6 months, and I made sure, and I think I knew I just needed to say everything I needed to say while we were still living together, so that once I moved out, I had no interest in reaching out to this person. I knew that this person is not good for me. I knew that they are aligned with my morals and values. I knew all these things. And so it was all irrelevant because that was in my past, and it was they showed me their true colors, and I don't know, it just was easy for me to just close that chapter, I think, and just focus on the future, focus on moving forward, focus on getting myself back on my feet, focus on putting the love I was putting into that person into myself. I had friends that were concerned about oh my God, did you break no contact? No, I didn't break no contact, and I haven't even had any close calls. So yeah, that would be the thing. How often do I go back to Boston? I try and go back at least once a year. I find if I leave it any longer, I get really homesick, and that's when I'll start randomly crying on a train or a bus because the color of the sky reminded me of home or something. It's just those little things. I feel like I need to turn on one of the lights, you guys. It's getting dark in here. When I go home, I look forward to eating my body weight in Mexican food. I miss American Mexican food so much, and it is something that I crave all the time. So one of the things I do when I get home is I get myself some Chipotle. I go to my local grocery store. I love my local Market Basket, and they just renovated the one near my parents' house, and I'm so excited to see it. And it's just really funny because I don't know, my dad loved Market Basket. He loved that grocery store. Anytime I step foot in one of them, I will forever think of him. And I'm just so glad that he got to see it renovated before he passed, because I know he was so excited about that. But yeah, I like going into the city as well. One of my favorite things to do is going by the aquarium in Boston and just walking by, because even if you don't go in and pay, you can see the seals, and it's my favorite pastime. Just walking by there, going around Faneuil Hall and going by the aquarium to see the seals, going to the 99s and getting some gold fever wings. I'm a basic girl, okay? Getting my Dunkin' Donuts. Everything that I love to do when I go home revolves around food. I love taking a trip to New York to go visit my friends. I went to school to study in New York, so New York has a close place in my heart. I don't know, I feel I spend a lot of my time going to the places I love, and I would love to be able to spend more time to explore other places around the US as well. There's just not enough time, when I gotta come back and work for someone else. This is why I need to be out on the open road, okay? I would love to just be do a cross-country trip in the US. I would love to do a road trip around the US. I would love to just explore all the nooks and crannies around the US that are calling my name. And the same with Australia. Those are two countries that I've lived in both, and I still feel there is still so much to explore in both. But a lot of the things I like to do when I go home revolve around food, and I'm 100% okay with that. Hi, Jamie, I have a question. Are you also wanting to be financially independent as well as an entrepreneur? How do you feel your job helps you in that sense, and what is your job search strategy with that goal in mind? I 100% want to be financially and location independent. So I want to be able to earn an income on my own terms, but I also want to be able to earn that income from anywhere in the world. And right now I'm obviously not in the space to do that. So I need to work for someone else while I build up my online incomes and navigate what that's going to look like. And one thing I'm really going to be focusing on in the new year when I'm back applying to jobs is just making sure that it aligns with that goal, because it can be really easy to get caught up in just getting a job for the sake of a job because we need to pay bills. I get it. This is one of the reasons why I made the choice to cut down a lot of my expenses by doing house sitting. so that I could prioritize those other things. And it's not traditional, it's not conventional. And, you know, half the time when I tell people that what I'm doing, they think I'm crazy. They think I'm just like girl, like, go get a real job, like, you know what I mean? But I know the vision I have for myself, and that's all I have to hold on to, because like someone else is not going to get my vision, because the vision was given to me. It's like I have to chase this calling because it's my calling. And so yeah, for me, that's going to look like in the new year, like a strategy for job hunting is going to be maybe not applying for full-time jobs, maybe applying for jobs that are, instead of like 40 hours a week or 38 or 37 point blah blah blah, whatever it is, the full-time hours, maybe like somewhere between 25 to 30 hours a week, so that I can use that little bit of extra time towards my online pursuit. So it's kind of like taking a sacrifice in like the amount of income that I'm saving, but I'm okay with that because I am earning a little bit online, but I also, it will give me the time and flexibility to work on the thing I want to be working on while I work on the thing I have to be working on, aka working for someone else. So that's my kind of strategy, is just getting myself into a position where I can maintain a job working for someone else, but also have a little bit more flexibility to maybe, you know, work 4 days a week instead of 5 days a week, where I can put that extra time towards my online income dreams. So yeah, that's kind of like my strategy for the new year, because this year I was just like, I need to get out of that house with that man is not a man, okay, is a little boy. I'm struggling with this filming day. This is going to be a nightmare to edit. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a nightmare to edit. I've had to stop and start recording so many times. I've run out of storage. My batteries have died. I've waited too long in the day because I've just been in bed all morning. And yeah, prioritizing the life I'm trying to build and not just the present day. You know what I mean? And that means like making some sacrifices. Also, I want to give a shout out to my UK subscribers, because you guys just came out of the woodworks once I started showing some UK treats in the M&S range of lollies and the Percy Pigs, and when I was hanging out with my friend in the city and we were listening to like all the 90s music, and yeah, you guys came out of the woodworks. I didn't know that y'all were around. So hi, I would love to come visit. I've always wanted to go to London. So yeah, any recommendations, let me know. I don't know when, or you know, when that would happen, but I would love to come visit England. I want to visit an M&S store. Is it M&S? M&S. It's M&S, right? I want to visit one in the flesh. Like I need to do it. I want to do it, okay? And there's another one I want to visit, another store. Primark? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. But I want to visit it. I want to visit. I know I'm getting way too excited over this, but like I need to go. And I want to go and like go to England and have a proper Yorkshire pudding. Because I learned what a Yorkshire pudding was this year. I've been spending a lot of time with people from England this year. So I've just been exposed more to a proper Sunday roast, Yorkshire pudding. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just so cute. It's like so proper. It looks so yummy. In my head, I've heard of a Yorkshire pudding before, but like I always thought it was like a dessert, but it's not. Okay, so if you don't know, now you know. It's not a dessert. And I need to try it. Okay. That's all. I just wanted to give you guys a shout out because you guys really surprised me. I was like, oh, I didn't know I had UK people in here. So hi. You guys, I am actually taken back by how many of these questions are house sitting questions. Like I went through them, but I didn't really like register it. Do you know if your house sit people watch your vlogs? I noticed that you blur all the photos on the walls. It must have been a lot of work. Listen, it was so much work. I know exactly what vlog you're referring to, because usually I try and be very mindful of like my filming setup when I'm house sitting in people's houses. When I'm in an Airbnb, it's, you know, film wherever I want. I was the one that chose to put parts of my life online. They didn't. So I just try and be respectful in that way. So I would hope if they did ever stumble across one of my videos, they would at least respect that. So yeah, I try and be mindful of where I'm filming because then it makes it easier for me to edit if I'm like mindful during the filming process. In that vlog, I know that was like the weekend, my social weekend in my life where I had things on all weekend and then I got super sick. I was not intentional on where I was filming and I had to go in and blur out every little detail, like clip by clip. It was the most tedious edit I've done in a while. This one might be the second most tedious edit I've done in a while. Being intentional on my filming makes my edits easier, and that one was a nightmare. I did my best though, and I appreciate you even acknowledging that. That means so much. Sorry, I thought I saw a spider. You guys, I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm sorry if I'm rushing through the rest. Hi, Jamie. I've been following you since your camping road trips and recommendations of pies. Oh my god. Did you watch the Marysville Pie episode? Especially as another local, I'm enjoying watching your exploration vlogs and seeing it through your lens. I've never considered exploring Lilydale and would drive through. However, this vlog changed my mind and will give the brewery a visit. See, this is what's really opened my eyes to the type of day trips that I'm doing because I got so in my head about it. Like, can this actually be a thing? Like, will people even enjoy these videos? Because it is just like Lilydale and like, you know, just going to Kyneton, just going to like these small little places, like, and just doing the most simple things, like going for a walk in the botanic gardens and going for brunch. Or like, it's nothing drastic, but in my head, I was like, that's the point of it. Like, it's approachable, it's realistic way of getting a sense of adventure in your life. And it's like you don't have to step foot in an airport to get a sense of adventure in your life. And I think that's what I'm trying to convey through these day trip videos. You know, one day I do want to be able to do full-time travel flying places. One day I do want to do camper van travel. But right now in the season I'm in, this is like me working with what I have. And I don't have a car. So car-free travel it is, you know. And then I might pivot that one day. Maybe I will have a car. Maybe this, maybe that. But right now I'm like, how can I get that sense of adventure that I crave? And these day trips have been that. So to get that feedback means more than you know, because I get in my head about it all the time. And I hope that you go to the brewery. I hope you visit it. And I hope that I can discover more breweries and day trips like that to share on the channel. And if you have any areas in Victoria that you think I would enjoy visiting, definitely let me know in the comments because I have an ongoing list. And honestly, thank you so much for following me. You know, you're like an OG. You're like an OG follower, okay? So I appreciate that so much. And yeah, it's been a ride since those pie recommendation days, which are like, I don't plan on stopping pie recommendations. All right, I would love to know how you were able to move to Australia and how does one become an expat? Oh, is it hard to get the Australian visa? And was Australia your first country to move to? So my journey was not like the typical journey of like, I just like decided I wanted to be an expat and picked a country and went through the visa process. Like, I met in Australia and I was dating an Australian and we were doing long distance and he asked me to move here. I said I'll move here for a year and see how it goes. That's when I started looking into the visas. I saw that they had the work holiday visa. I had never heard of a work holiday visa in my entire life. I applied for that. It pretty much got approved instantly. I went from the work holiday visa and then applied for the partner visa. I was on a bridging visa in between that. Then after that, got my residency. I've been eligible for citizenship and to get like my Australian passport probably like 6 years. I've been eligible. I just haven't done it because the paperwork it took to get the partner visa it burnt me out. And I was like, I can't think of like taking the test and the citizenship test and all that. Like, I was like, I just need a break. And then like, I was like, I'll wait till next year, and then next year, and then next year. And then I've just like renewed my residency travel visa. And I need to apply for my citizenship. I would love to just have an Australian passport and a US passport and just be done, have the option to live in both places, you know, and just be done with it. So that is something that I'm planning to do in 2026. That's like one of my big goals for 2026, which someone asked, like, what are my big goals for 2026? Focusing on my health and wellness journey and getting my citizenship. There's a few other things that I might talk about in my New Year What's Ahead video. Yeah, I think looking for like work holiday visas where you can like actually like work and travel so you have some money coming in as well. Like that is so popular here. But yeah, I haven't really explored that for other countries. And like I said, like I moved here for someone, so I kind of moved here and built a life and started building a life here. I didn't like move here and was traveling around. I still haven't gotten that like backpacker travel around Australia experience, and I would love to like have some version of that, because I kind of just moved here, based myself in Melbourne, always have been based in Melbourne, and a lot of the other people I've met here, they kind of like came here, traveled around while working, and did that whole thing. I didn't do that. So yeah, that's my experience with that. I might also do another video just about the Australian visa process and my experience, and maybe touch on like the current visa rules and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I might do that. I don't know if that would be helpful for anyone, or if like I feel like my circumstances are so outdated because I moved here in 2012 and so much has changed. Okay, you guys, my voice, I am like really losing my voice, but I have loved sitting down doing all these questions. I hope my next Q&A, my batteries will be fully charged. I will be doing this during the daytime and it won't be so straining on my voice. I can't believe I'm losing my voice. Thank you so much for the questions, for being here, for your support, for your kind words, for your condolences, for like I feel like there's so much that I have to thank you for, and I'm just so grateful for the support and love and for the community that I'm starting to build here. 2026 is around the corner, and I'm just hoping that you guys have a great holiday season. I'm sending so much love out to anyone else who is struggling this holiday season, but just taking it day by day. That's all we can really do. But look after yourselves. Have an amazing New Year. I don't know what you're doing. Let me know in the comments. What is your New Year tradition? When I was growing up, we used to like order Chinese food, and like that was the thing. It was like I would just be at home with the family ordering Chinese food. Here, my New Year's have looked different. I don't know what I'm doing this year. I might go hang out with a friend. I don't know. We'll see. I might spend New Year's with my friend out in the city. But whatever you do choose to do, or any traditions you might have, just be safe. Look after yourself. I hope you take some space between now and the new year to just reflect on the things that you've overcome, the things you're proud of yourself for. Feel free to leave them in the comments. I would love to know like what was your biggest obstacle you've overcame. I would love to hear like your biggest win or your biggest lesson. Drop that in the comments. I would love to just celebrate you in the comments. And thank you so much for the love, support, and just being here, and for coming with me into the new year, whatever that's going to look like. I don't know, you guys. I don't know, but you'll have a little bit more of an idea in the next coming weeks. All right, thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing, and I hope to see you tuning into another video soon. Happy New Year!